Okay, well, welcome everybody. I am Glenn Rosenberg. I am one of the owners of Microblading Academy USA, which is at this moment the only official Phibrows Academy here in the United States. And we've got a special guest with us today. Our special guest is Reategui.
Hi.
And she is one of our superstar students, and she's going to be speaking with us today, sort of like interview style. And we're going to talk about how she managed to go from getting certified late last year to in less than, I think it was about 9 months or 8 months, something like that,
9 months, yeah.
Going to build a very successful microblading business using social media. And she's going to share her story. We're going to ask her some questions as we go. And hopefully this will be very helpful for those of you who have already taken our course and you're wondering how do you get to the next level. And for those of you who've never taken one of our courses, hopefully it will inspire you and show you that you can completely transform your life. So let's just quickly, before we get started here, let's just cover a couple quick things. The presentation will be about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the number of questions that we have. And if you do have questions, please put them into the chat box on the right. And this is today's agenda. We're going to cover Dee's story. We're going to be talking about our Phibrows Academy and the microblading course. And then we will do the sort of a question and answer section at the end. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get started. So, without further ado, Reategui. So, Dee, why don't you go ahead and tell them what you were doing prior to microblading?
Sure. I was an educator for cosmetology and nails for many, many years. I actually started educating at age 18. I'm now 31. And eventually, me doing my own eyebrows and growing my own eyebrows about 3 years ago led for students of mine to ask me for brow services. So I started tweezing and doing their brows in class and getting in trouble with my campus director because I wasn't supposed to do any brow services in class. And then eventually I started doing brows as a part-time job at home, and eventually that grew into a brow shaping service salon. Okay.
And from that point, you, oh, hang on one second. Okay, now right about that time, that was just, what, about 2 years ago, or where was that?
Almost like 3 years ago now.
3 years ago, okay. Because right about at that time is when Instagram exploded.
Yes.
Okay, and so before we go into too much depth about Instagram, just give them a little bit of an idea, like what, because you got involved with it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So explain that.
I had an Instagram account for my nail salon and brow shaping salon, because eventually I opened up a place, like I said. And I went from having 67 followers in the nail salon Instagram, and I turned it into what is now Browista Beauty. And in 2.5 years, that went from 67 followers to almost 29,000 followers now.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
So we're almost at 30,000.
Wow. All right. And we're going to share in just a little bit how that actually translates to something like 10 or 12 or 15 inquiries about microblading every single week.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in just a minute. But so if you would, share with us how you discovered Phibrows and microblading, because you weren't doing microblading before.
No.
But so how did that happen?
I had absolutely no experience in microblading prior to discovering Phibrows. I actually discovered Phibrows through Instagram. And that led me to research, who are the educators here in the United States and even in Florida. And I was able to be led to Microblading Academy USA's Instagram, which, funny thing, now I actually manage their Instagram.
Right.
So that's kind of funny how that happened.
Right. But what drew you to microblading? Why did you want to do microblading?
Good question. I believe that from doing shaping services every day, all day, and I had 20 clients, 25 clients per day, I wanted to do less people and make more money. So eventually that turned into wanting to do the next step, and the next step was semi-permanent makeup for eyebrows. And people that didn't have any eyebrows and didn't have any growth anymore, eventually I started to lose these people because they didn't want to come to my business anymore for shaping services. So I offered them a solution, and okay, hold on, I'm about to take this course, and offering them a solution as well.
Right. And I also thought that it was important to emphasize the fact that microblading is also a higher end service, right? So for the amount of time that you're going to spend doing any particular service, you want to be spending your time doing the most valuable service, the one that generates the most amount of money.
Yeah.
obviously the one that delivers the most impact to your clients, but also the one that makes the most amount of money per hour.
Yeah.
So that's why I had put that in there, and I thought it was important to emphasize, because I'm not sure who's watching this or what you're doing, what you're involved in, but how much you charge for microblading today?
I charge $700 per microblading.
Okay. So, and how long does it take you to do microblading?
Like 2.5 hours.
Okay. $700 for 2.5 hours, right? So think about the things that you might be working on now, or the services that you offer. Are they making you $700 per 2 hours, right? So it's pretty important to consider, and that's also part of the reason why microblading is becoming more popular, in addition to the fact that it generates amazing results, right? So let's talk about the stage from the live, from you taking the live course, which was, it was October?
I took the class October 2016, so last year October.
Okay, so October 2016, you take the course, and let's just cover that period of time where you recovered your investment, which was about 8 or 9 weeks or so. Because what I think is really cool about what Dee did is that she came in with a plan, and I'm not sure how many people actually think of this before they actually come to our academy and take the course, but she did, and she tends to be that way, and that's why she's successful, is because she's thinking ahead, she's planning her next steps, whereas the decisions she's taking today is going to lead her. So she came with a plan. So tell them about your plan and how you were able to recover your investment so quickly as a result of that plan.
So before I took the course, I already had anticipated that I was going to take the course in October, and when I was prepping for the course and even gathering, the money for the deposit, I thought about gathering a list of people that were friends and family members and current clients as well from other services. And, my mom's neighbor and my really good friend from school and all these different people that I already knew and that they had already some type of trust in me. So you don't even have to go too far to get this list. I made a list of 20 people, and I offered them an introductory price for microblading. And of course, I said,
how much was it?
It was $200. Some were $200, some were $250. That's the range that I did this initial group. And I mentioned to them, like, this is just for this time. Like, my price is gonna raise. This is not it. This is just an introduction. And people really signed up and obviously gave half of that for a deposit. So I was able to gather money even before I sat in for my course.
Oh, people prepaid.
Yeah, I
didn't even know that.
Prepaid the deposit. Yeah.
Girl's a genius.
Not everybody, obviously, but people that trusted me and already came to me for other services did that.
Right, because they had come to you for different services, right? So that makes sense. But you mentioned the fact that when you talk to them, you emphasize that this is like an introductory rate. I think that's important to stop and just make note of that, because I suspect some people, like we discussed before, some people probably skip that step, and now you're sort of boxed in. It's
you're
like you're
stuck in that price. You know?
You get stuck.
So you have to let them know this is not forever. This is just for the first few people. Get on this list now, or you'll be paying the regular price, which is blank. So you set your original price from the moment that you start taking your course, and just believe in yourself before you even get to that level of perfection that this is going to be your price. But initially the price is going to be this one. So clients are like, oh my God, I should get on that list like ASAP. I really want to get in for that price.
Yes, and Judy, you're only getting this is an introductory price. You don't want to pay the regular price, and Judy, I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's the way to get them.
Okay, so in 8 to 9 weeks. You worked on how many people, was it?
I think it was anywhere from 18 to 20, I believe.
Wow, that's a lot. And so you took the live course October. You were certified by November. So you raced through this as quickly as you could, obviously.
It took me like 4.5, 5 weeks to get the certificate.
Okay, which, let me just take a moment here, because that could be intimidating for some people who are listening to this, and they're like, oh my God, I'm 4 months in and I haven't gotten my certificate yet, or I haven't graduated yet, or it's...
You have 6 months to do so. I mean, you have the Craftmaster app, and it's a tool for you to be able to learn. And even after I did my certificate, I would always go back and look at the videos, read the lectures, go through the information, and really soak up on that information even after working on someone. So I would work on someone, have a question, and I would come back to the Craftmaster. So you guys have to use that tool for about 6 months and continue to use it even after you guys get certified.
Right.
It took me about 5 weeks to get the certificate, just because I was so determined to practice every night and get all my pictures into my master, which is Master Kler, and be able to get my certificate as soon as possible.
Right.
And I was able to get my investment, which was $3,800. I was able to get it back within 8 to 9 weeks, so a little bit over 2 months.
So some people take longer, some people get it short. Get it. right?
Yeah.
Just get it.
Just get it.
Okay.
Everyone works at a different pace, so.
And so, let's take a look at some of your first work. Okay, here we are. Look at this beautiful work.
No.
This is top-notch stuff.
I think we're all embarrassed to look back at our first work. I mean.
Yeah. So let's give Dee a little credit for volunteering this picture. But you know, so
we all start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got started, and okay, but you started improving pretty quickly.
The hockey
right?
stick.
Here's the hockey stick. Yep. This is the hockey stick. You don't want the hockey stick. But then, so now let's cover the period from the live course to having a very successful microblading business, which was about a period of about 7 months or so, 7, 8 months, right? And so the two things that contributed to your growth, lots of practice and marketing yourself, obviously, very effectively. So
yeah, that's why the first group of people that I got in that list were specifically for that. I told them that they were going to be given this really, really good price because I wanted to get good pictures of them.
Yeah.
So they had that already in their mind, that their pictures were going to be, used for marketing purposes and further advertising my services. And once you start putting something out there, I think you're going to get even more inquiries. You do lashes, you post lashes, people want lashes. You do microblading, you post microblading, people want microblading. So
right.
it's something about just putting it out there and people are going to want what they see.
Right. And you were very targeted with your marketing.
Yeah.
So you were very targeted not just from the hashtags that you were selecting and not just from the photos that you chose to put on your Instagram page, but all the way back to your plan from the very beginning that you decided to come here, get certified. You had your plan of, okay, I've got to get these people in here as quickly as I can so that I can have my portfolio of work. I can get it up on Instagram as quickly as I can, which is going to lead to the next, to the next, to the next,
yep.
to where you are when you have a very successful business.
Mm-hmm.
So you practice like crazy, obviously, and we put there that you practice crazy without fear for a reason, because obviously to work on people and to take that step, it's a quantum leap to actually go from practicing on practice skin to actually working on real people. But
I did so pretty quickly, and I guess it's just a matter of personality. Just jump the gun and just do it and figure it out. Obviously, I recommend everyone to learn a little bit and to do a few of the levels on Craftmaster before doing it on a live person, but I didn't do that. I actually, even right before I finished my courses, my levels, I went ahead and worked on my first 1 or 2 people, which I believe that one was the first one, the one that you saw. And I stayed in close contact with my master as well. I still send her pictures to this day, and I still bug her about my pictures to this day. And she still reviews my work, and she still gives me feedback to this day. So
which, by the way, it's been beyond 6 months.
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
It's 9 or
we're almost at 10 months now since my course, and that's what sets a good master and a good educator apart from others. Is do they care about the student? Do they care about the education? And Master Kler cares about our advancement and our progression. And even if she's over and done with her part, which is Craftmaster, she's still there to guide you, and that's very, very important. That's the way you get better. You need criticism.
Yeah, you need that guidance. So your work improved. You raised your prices.
Yes.
Okay, so that was I would imagine an important decision right there.
Yeah,
was it an easy decision or was it hard?
It was pretty easy. I just didn't want to overwork myself. I think people in my city, they see $250, and I was just being booked like so much. The good thing about that, everything has its pros and cons. The good thing about having a lower price is that you're going to have so much more volume, and you're going to be able to get better super fast. And as your price raises, you're going to have less volume, but you're obviously going to make more money for it. So it balances out somehow. And I think that starting at a low price is going to get you the experience and the people to trust you enough to even lay on your bed. So
yeah, and you need that in the beginning. So in the beginning, the point is, don't worry so much about how much money you make. Worry about getting great at microblading.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So early 2017, so this is several months into the course at this point. You've already graduated, but you're still learning and developing. Pre-perfection training work. So we'll tell you what perfection training is in just a moment if you don't know what that is. But this is pre-perfection training. All right, so here you can see Dee's work. At the top was this is the before, and then during the process, and then the bottom is the results afterward. And you could already see that her work was improving.
That was already, I think, 4 months into my course. I mean, after taking my course. So it was looking good. Pictures were looking even better, and I was able to achieve all these things and good measurements and all that. But there was still something missing, you know?
Right. So
they didn't look as realistic, I believe, and they look great, obviously, in comparison to people in my city, but.
And I think that's an important point, because even when she says in comparison to people in her city, if you go on Instagram, you see a lot of the work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bad work out there, and so.
Cringeworthy, like you say.
Yeah, and so as microblading becomes more and more popular, you need to stand out.
Yeah.
And part of what makes you stand out is, number one, just being excellent at what it is that you do, doing it really, really well, and then marketing yourself effectively. And obviously, if you have a good product that you produce, if you're really good at it, it's that much easier to market yourself because you've got a great product to market, right?
And you're tied to a very reputable company. I mean, reputable? Sorry, I translate from Spanish. But, you know, once you have the Phibrows logo attached to your work, I mean, it stands out. People tell me, I saw your work on the Explore page on Instagram, and it's just like a random selection of pictures locally. So let's say I'm a client and I'm looking for microblading work. All of a sudden, a picture of someone that does Phibrows pops up on my Explore page. I'm able to see that page, and that page happens to be in my same zip code. So, you know, that's how Instagram works, which we'll talk about, of course, in the future. But, you know, having this logo and having this brand stand behind your work, I mean, it means so much.
Yeah, it's very important. And Phibrows is only going to become that much more of a brand name. It already is a pretty substantial brand name. It's associated with quality, like the gold standard of microblading. You know, so but anyway, so let's just for the sake of time, let's continue here. So you can see a couple of other pictures. These are pre-perfection training, but then let's talk about what perfection training is. So you took perfection training in May of 2017 to fix errors and to improve your quality of work. Perfection training is a very small, intimate class. You get a lot of focus time with a master trainer who's going to stand right over your shoulder and help you work out on a live model any problems that you might be having. She'll show you different techniques, and maybe you should describe it exactly what the experience is from a student standpoint.
The class doesn't go above 6 students, which is very important, and the master is actually standing beside you while you're working on your model, and you're doing a full service on the model, and she's standing beside you, seeing what you're doing exactly, the angle of the blade, if you're going too deep, if you're going too light, if you're mixing the pigment correctly according to the client's skin tone and undertone and stuff like that. She's actually able to, in my perfection training, she was able to be with me an hour and a half almost, and she was able to tweak the things that I was doing wrong. So one of the things that I noticed I was doing wrong for the perfection training was that I was holding my blade at the wrong angle. And it was something very, very, very minor, but it made such a difference in the precision of my strokes. So this perfection training, I feel that I should have taken it way before, and that would have saved me a lot of headaches and a lot of bad work and stuff like that. But that's my suggestion.
It's interesting because you could go to a perfection training, and for the cost of and time involved in taking off to take that course, you could find just 2 or 3 like golden nuggets that could really be the game changer for your business. And literally, like you're describing, the angle that you hold the blade, who would imagine that it can make such a substantial difference, which leads to substantially better work, which could lead to
better photos, and a bit more leads.
Well, yeah, all of it. So here you are working with Master Kler on a model. This is what it actually looks like when you're in class and you have a trainer that's working with you. So let's take a look at some of your work. Post
after the perfection training.
Okay, so here you can see already your work had substantially improved.
Yes,
substantially improved. At this point, you're really starting to get good at this, right? So remember, the whole idea behind microblading is if it's done well,
you can't tell that it's microblading.
You can't tell. It's hard to distinguish the difference between real hairs and microbladed strokes.
Yes.
So so you're getting pretty good at this. So here, I really like this picture a lot because this one is just, it really demonstrates the natural look of the hair strokes. You're really getting it at this point. And so anyway,
that was actually my first client after perfection course. This was my client right after the course.
Wow, he was still high on perfection at that point. Still doing good. All right, so let's now switch gears. All right, let's talk about growing your business through social media and primarily Instagram, right? Because you did it with Facebook and Instagram, but just for the sake of time for this webinar, we're going to concentrate primarily on Instagram. Both are useful.
Yeah.
There's different groups that hang out in.
There's different age groups that hang out in Facebook, and a different age group, and overall, yeah, a different age group that hangs out on Instagram. So it depends on your area, depends on your age, yourself, your business, your focus, the clients that you actually mainly attract, and you just have to focus on one of both. They both work really well, and they both have their pros and cons as well, and their benefits. But let's just focus on Instagram for this one.
Okay. All right. So let's jump out of here real quick, and let's go over to your Instagram page. All right. So here is your Instagram page. It's Browista Beauty. So first of all of y'all who are watching this, you need to follow Browista Beauty. Obviously, that's the first lesson. Watch what she's doing. Learn from what she's doing. You don't have to literally be spoon-fed everything. Just pay attention and see what she's doing and ask yourself why she's doing it. There's a rhyme and reason and a strategy behind everything. I mean, literally from the selection of colors that you'll see here to the angles of the photos, there's thought given to everything. But would you describe just a little bit about your page and how you use your page? And then I'd like to get into a couple of things about hashtags and some of the things that actually built the business. Just give us kind of a brief description of this.
So I figured when I got onto Instagram, my business account was private, and I realized that I had to make it public in order for people to find me. The way for people to find you guys on Instagram is actually, the way I describe Instagram actually in like 2 sentences would be, this is a visual directory, a visual service directory. So people that are looking for services, hair services, lash extension services, skincare services, are actually looking for you on Instagram. They're looking for you with your service name and your city. So in my example, I discovered hashtag Miami Microblading. And if you go on that hashtag, you're able to see all the different types of quality work and different types of even quality photos. And my photos really stood out, and that actually really did help me. And even when my work wasn't as good, my pictures stood out. Clear, crisp photos, you know, smooth skin. I just edited skin tags just for them to look nice and even and not take the focus away from the brow. Using the right hashtags in order for people to find me is very, 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 very important. And basically, hashtags are just like subfolders where all your photos are stored. So if you look for, you know, Phoenix lashes, hashtag Dallas skincare, you know, all these different names of services with the cities, people are able to find you. And I was able to discover that and use that and just squeeze all the goodness out of that, and that's exactly how people find me.
Well, let's break this down into 2 parts, okay? Because there's a lot to this, obviously, but you grew your social media, which resulted in growing your microblading business in 2 ways, from what I understand. And please correct me wherever I'm wrong here. But first, you had to expand your audience, right? So I want to ask you a couple questions about expanding the audience. And you were also focusing on improving the content of your page to make it that much more attractive to the audience that you're expanding it for. So it's almost like a multiplier effect. Like, you're trying to reach more people, you're using hashtags and some of the things that we'll go into, but you're also trying to make the page more attractive so that they want to keep coming back and consuming your content, right? So as far as expanding your audience, let's just talk about that for a second, because you need to reach as many people as you can. Talk to us about hashtags. What are hashtags and why are they so important, briefly?
Hashtags, like I said now, are just folders where you can put your work. So if you're doing skincare, if you're doing microdermabrasion, you would put that image under this hashtag for people to be able to discover you. So these are just, like I said, public subfolders where people can search for these hashtags, and Instagram has now translated to become kind of like a Google search for services. So that's why it's such an important you know, visual way for people to come and find your work. So once they come into your profile, it's just like a visual folder of a kind of like a 9-grid style of your pictures being on there. And if your pictures are good, people are going to follow them. Even people that are not going to become clients, people that are in the same industry as you, people that are in different cities from you, and they probably visually are attracted to the aesthetics of your page, and they're going to be able to follow you.
The hashtags are important.
Yeah, hashtags are very important. That's how the whole thing
is organized. Yeah. It's for when people are searching.
Yeah, because they won't be able to find your page unless they find you through a hashtag first. So hashtag is the first, I guess, the river that leads to your page, you know?
Now, you also use contests.
Yes.
If anybody here who's watching this goes on Instagram, which I'm sure many of you do, you've noticed some of the people who have very large followings use contests. You've probably seen them and they've been offered to you, whether you've participated or not, but you use them very successfully.
Yes.
So what are some of, like, give us an example of a contest that you ran that helped you expand your audience.
So basically just a call of action. You put a very short caption and instructions for your contest. I post a picture of microblading, a before and after, that's very, very nice. And then I said the first 100,000, I mean, what is it, 1,000 comments. When I get to 1,000 comments on this post, I'll choose a winner for a free microblading session, and I'll explain the value that they're getting for free. But basically the tags that they have to, the comments or the tags that they have to write on the comments is basically tagging a friend. So every comment is one person. So if you think about it, that translated into 1,000 people that were now exposed to my page that either did not know about it before or that are probably looking for a microblading service provider locally. So I always say tag people in the city. So tag your friends, tag your sisters, tag your moms, tag your neighbors, whatever, and they would tag these people on my page. And if you would see, whenever I have contests, I have hundreds of comments, because people want something for free. So it's something so easy that they have to do in order to potentially get something for free. And whenever the person does win, I promote that. I say, look, this is my winner of my microblading service, and look how she looks now. Right. So it's very important to follow through with what you're promising your followers. Very clever. Mm-hmm.
And so this, you mentioned actually what led me to the next thing on the list here. You already mentioned asking friends and family and clients to share your posts, right? So naturally that's easy, right? It's very easy. You already have the rapport, and as they reach out to their circles of influence, you get this exponential reach that you're expanding out to, right?
Yeah, so if I post a picture, it's only exposed to 300 people or 400 people that actually liked it. The hashtag is going to be actually revealed to 5,000 people, potentially, that can view this post. But then if I have 300 followers that are all friends and family that share this picture, you have a bigger pool of people to make your work be, exposed to. So.
Right. And you also made deals with other people who had followers.
Yes.
Explain what that means.
Yes, bloggers, fashion bloggers, people that were makeup artists, people that were very big influence in the Miami makeup industry that were known for brides and really expensive work. We were able to kind of trade, and I said, okay, if I give you a service and I guess show off your tag and tag your business on my Instagram, can you do the same for me? So it's just like
so you offer them a service.
Yeah, so I would offer them a service, or I would offer to share their Instagram or share their work if it was related.
But you offer them something of value, whether it's literally a service or at a certain point when you had enough followers, you could actually offer exposing their business, their Instagram to your audience.
Yeah, because of course our services, if our services aren't the same, I mean, I can offer someone, bridal makeup work, exactly, or skincare work, or micro needling work, or whatever. And I was able to share people that were, I guess, their services were relating to mine, but not exactly competing with mine. And then, of course, I would also offer them services. So for a free service, go ahead and, show off my work or show off my page. And a lot of bloggers did that, and that's why my page grew. Not because, I always say it, not because I'm J-Lo, but because I'm able to market myself correctly.
Very clever. Very, very smart. Let's talk about improving your content to make it more attractive and compelling. So tell me about a theme. When we're looking at this, what's the theme? What do you mean theme?
My theme is, or it's an Instagram theme for social media, is having a cohesive look or image for your page. So if you look on my page, I usually use the same filters for the pictures that have skin color. I actually have skin color, blush, gray, white, and black. Those are the colors that I use on my page, and everything that I post are going to contain, the picture can contain those colors.
Because I know, like, your page, it's very...
You said a sleeve. You said something about, you were like, oh, it has like a sleeve, or it has like the,
yes, exactly.
Like a look.
it has a look to it. There's like a consistency. I can't even put my finger on it. It's like a hue.
Yes.
The whole thing has like the similar color palette. It's not like red and then green and then yellow and then, like all these colors all over the place, but it's fairly consistent and smooth. It looks like no different than like when you walk into like a really high-end or a nice
or high-end store, like they have a color. They have a color
the whole place has a scheme to it.
Yeah, that's the word. It's a scheme. So basically, all my pictures have, like I said, they have I use a specific filter for anything that has skin color.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why all the skin colors, even if the person is an Indian, an Asian, or Latina, they're all going to have the same hue as far as pictures.
That's what you're saying.
So filters. And then if you scroll through more images, you're able to see that there's, all my text posts are consistent as well. So I usually use white, black, or gray. So if you see like announcements are white and black, if you keep scrolling, you're going to see a lot of posts that contain the color blush. I use a lot of blues. I travel a lot, so I always post pictures of my airplanes, and it's something that my page is standing out for now. So you see, all my announcements, all my filters have a blue, grayish hue to them.
Yeah, I see that.
So that takes a lot of studying. You know, a lot of studying. It makes
it attractive too. Like,
yeah.
You want to, like, I don't know.
They want to click follow because it's pretty.
Inviting. Yeah. Targeting a specific audience. Now, again, this is under the subject of improving your content and making it more compelling and attractive, right? So let's talk about targeting a specific audience. What relationship does targeting a specific audience, what does that have anything to do with improving the quality of the content and making it more attractive?
If you're posting pictures of a 30-something-year-old with her lashes and she's blinking and you're posting a boomerang, it's going to attract another 30-something-year-old to your business. So, you know, you have to post accordingly to what you want to attract. So if I'm posting microbladings for an older woman with mature skin, and I'm posting and I'm speaking in the caption that this works great for mature skin and they can look like they have brows now, even if they haven't had their brow hairs grow for many, many years, you're able to offer these services and visually attract the same type of people that you want to bring in. So mature pictures are going to attract more mature people. Young people are going to attract more young people. And it's just making the client, I guess, place themselves in your business. Like, can I go to this business? You know, are there other 40-year-old blonde people that come to this business, or my age group, or my type of skin color, or whatever? So you just have to, I guess, visually attract this whatever you want to attract. You want to visually attract them with having the same type of client on your feed.
Right.
That makes sense.
So in other words, whatever it is that you're posting it with the audience in mind.
Yes.
Right? With the person that you want to attract in mind, not just a free-for-all.
Yeah.
There's thought about who would be attracted to this content, and it needs to be consistent.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of the people that I post for are people that are anywhere from 18 to 45 years old, or 18 to 50 years old, and that's usually my age group. And I'm able to speak when I post about, like, wax or shaping a brow of a teenager, and I tell them that, oh, my teenagers have a special price for waxing. You know, you're able to attract even more teenagers. So whatever you're posting, you're attracting even more of, I guess.
Right. There's more to this subject matter that I wanted to get to, but for the sake of time, I just want to, if you don't mind, let's just move on here just for a moment, because I want to show how this actually translates into $4,000 a week doing microblading, and how does it translate into people actually contacting you and inquiring about getting microblading. So here at the top of Dee's Instagram page, you can see her website. And so you have a link in your bio to your website. And now we're going to show your website. Now here, the website that we're looking at is a website that we actually built for you. We offer websites for our students, which we'll show you in a minute. You can find it on our website if you were interested in a website like Dee has. But when you were building your business, you didn't yet have this website. You had a different website. But the concept, the flow, and the order of operations, if you will, was the same. It's the idea that you're trying to expand your following on Instagram, make your content so attractive to them that they want to like and follow you.
Yes.
And then they're more and more curious about what you're doing. They're attracted to what you do. They want to get brows. They click on your website. And what happens on your website? They see what it is that you do. And the very first thing that it says is, what exactly is microblading? And it goes on to why choose a Phibrows certified microblading artist. It shows before and after pictures. And so what is consistent about this, and obviously your additional services that you have and so on, but what's important to mention about this is the focus. The focus. All the way through the thread from when she just started taking the course and made that plan with all the people she was going to work on, she had in mind building that portfolio of pictures of people that she would be able to use to attract more people, which would result in growing her Instagram, attracting the right people, getting the right audience to click the link to go to her website, which results in people DMing you,
becoming clients, and
calling you,
contacting us for services.
Right. So how you get? It's more than 10 a week, right?
I would say more than that.
Yeah. So she's getting a very substantial amount of people who are
inquiring
about services for microblading and her other services. Which, by the way, when they come to her website, they discover that she also offers lash extensions and several other services. But this is the concept. This is how she built her business. So let's.
Like I mentioned, you know, put the pictures out there on your social media. These are free. They're going to find you through hashtags. Very easy to be discovered through hashtags. Visually attract them to live on your page or stay on your page by clicking follow. And then eventually, by seeing your pictures over and over again, they're eventually going to translate and become clients. So it's basically like leading your traffic. It's like a traffic flow from a picture to following, becoming a client. And eventually, when they come into your website, they're going to be able to see that you stand out as a professional, that you have a website to explain your services, and you stand out as a professional. You don't just have a social media and that's it. It translates into, there's more information, there's a contact form, there's a service page, there's a description page, there's pictures, befores and afters, and there's like all these clickable links for them to be able to contact you in more than 2, 3, 4 ways to be able to become a client.
Right. So presenting yourself professionally is what we're talking about. Really be professiontional.
And my new website, thank you. My new website actually now has all the information about Phibrows and why a Phibrows certified artist stands out than the rest, or more than the rest. And it actually has videos and stuff like that if you go through the website. So it's a very, very good investment to make, to have a professional page and full of information to provide to your clients. By the time they come for the consultation, they're able to sit there with you for 5 to 10 minutes. I provide free consultations before microblading, and they're able to have other questions answered, because on the phone when we book them, we actually tell them to go and take a look at the website and read through the FAQ page, which is very important because you're going to be able to save so much time in the consult.
100%, and time is money.
Yes.
So you want to use your resources. Here's that FAQ that you were just talking about down here.
There's all these frequently asked questions on there.
For someone who's never taken one of our courses before, let's just briefly speak to that person. So what's special about the Phibrows course, in my opinion, there's a lot to it, but above all, it's 2 things. It's primarily the fact that you have this Craftmaster application, which is really remarkable, where it's taken the entire art of microblading and it's broken it down into 11 levels. Now, this is an application. You can download it on your phone, or you can download it on your iPad, whatever, or however you use it. But it's mobile. You can use it wherever you are, and it takes the whole process from doing the head of the eyebrow to the strokes. How do you measure every aspect of performing microblading? You're going to do it over a period of time, and you can't fly through the 11 levels in one night. You have to get authorization from your master. You have to demonstrate your work. So let me just describe this for a moment, or maybe you can even describe it better than I can. But the concept is that you go through level 1. You have to practice the exercises at the end of level 1, and you take a photo of your work and you share it with the master trainer you're training under. They respond back to you and they tell you either you did great, you can pass to level 2, or you have some things you need to fix, that you need to work on. You make those adjustments until the master trainer is convinced through the demonstrations of your work that you're sending via sort of like text message, that your work is satisfactory and you have mastered that level. You master that level, you move on to the next level and subsequent level, and you continue through the whole course that way. And that maintains the integrity of the course, right? Yep. Is there anything else that you would share?
The most important part is, like you said, you master every level, and whenever your master gives you feedback that she approves the work, you move on to the next level.
Was it easy for you? Was Kler easy on you, or?
No, not at all. Actually, I didn't get a Bravo from Master Kler until about 4 months in. So that's very, very important for me, because if your master is telling you that you did great and she's just passing you and flying you through the levels, that means that you're not going to master the art of microblading, correctly. So if your master's strong on you and she's tough on you, it's actually better, because you're able to grow and you're able to perfect yourself. So criticism is important, like I said before. But once you go through the 11 levels, if you have the logo of the Phibrows company and you're a certified artist, that holds a lot of weight, because that means you went through rigorous meticulous training to be able to get that certificate. So, you know, not everyone that has a Phibrows logo was just given to it. You've worked for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it's also fair to say that if you look on Instagram or you look online anywhere and you see a lot of microblading work, you'll see a lot of the high quality work is associated with that Phibrows watermark.
Yep.
So you'll see the artists, once they become certified in Phibrows, they're not just going to post their photos, they're going to post their photos with their watermark.
Yep.
And so you'll notice, if you've never taken one of our courses before, pay attention to that and you'll see that's the reason why, but you'll also notice a lot of the good quality work is Phibrows, because everyone who's putting their work out there with that Phibrows logo has been through this rigorous course that we're talking about.
Whether it took them 2 months or whether it took them 6, that's your maximum time you have to use it. Yeah.
And also, so the second part of the course that I think is very, very important is the 6 months of ongoing support that you're going to get from a master trainer, regardless of whichever master trainer it happens to be. Now, in this particular case, what happens is you're going to go through this Craft Master application, you're going to get that support, and you're going to attend the live course if you choose to go that route, which we'll describe. There's 2 different ways that you can do this. But if you do take the live course, you're not going to learn microblading in 2 days. You're not going to learn microblading in a 5-day course. It takes practice.
Yeah.
You could see Dee is obviously talented and she's incredibly hardworking, and you can see it took her months to develop this.
Yeah.
So it's not something, I mean, I don't want to ask you to show what your microblading looked like after day 2, but you can imagine that 2 days is not enough. So what you do in a live course is you learn how to practice microblading at home, and then you're going to follow the curriculum in the application, and then you're going to have 6 months of ongoing support, and it's really lifetime support is what it is at our academy.
Yeah.
But from a technical standpoint, the actual subscription to the application and that feedback that you're getting with the master is that length of time, and that is very, very important, and it leads to the the consistent quality of work that you'll see from Phibrows trained artists.
Because there's a very high standard, so you'll be trained to that.
So there's 2 ways that you can take the course. So if you see here on our website, which is microbladingacademyusa.com, you can see that up in the address bar up here. First of all, there's a lot of things on this website that you can check out that will just be very helpful for you. And one of the things, first of all, that we're very proud of, that we focus on a lot, is our reviews. We have many, many 5-star reviews on Facebook.
Many, no, hundreds.
Hundreds, literally. And you can read them. In fact, right here, right on our website, we present it very prominently. And no different on your website, there's actually testimonials at the bottom of her website, because as a practitioner of microblading, no different than as the academy that teaches microblading, we believe very strongly in social proof.
Yep.
And so if you're going to look to make an investment in something, or make a career change, or rent a house, or go somewhere on vacation, if you're going to spend a substantial amount of money, chances are you're going to look for reviews, right? And so read our reviews. Read what customers, our clients, our students have to say about their experience in our academy. Don't just take our word for it, but read what they have to say about it. But nonetheless, this is what our academy looks like. You can see it. It's actually right over there while we're doing this recording here. But what I want to emphasize to you is, if you like what you're hearing and you're interested in getting certified with us or taking the course, you can go right here where it says training courses. You go down and you have 2 different ways that you can take this. You can take the live course, or you can take the online course. Now, the only difference between the 2 courses is the live course comes with the actual live course experience, where you come to either our academy here, or you go to one of our events anywhere around the country. Like, we just recently had an event in Seattle and in California and in New York, and we're coming up in Houston, Texas, and Chicago, and all over the place. And chances are there will be one coming, if not to your city, pretty close to your city. You have that as a choice, or you can actually come to the official Phibrows Academy right here in Boca Raton, Florida. The price is the same, but what's different is if you do the online course includes the Craft Master application. It includes the 6 months of ongoing support. It includes the Phibrows kit, which is a $1,200 kit, which has everything that you need for several months, really, of working on clients. The only thing that the online course doesn't have is the live course. And so consequently, it's discounted. It's substantially less money to do the online course than it is to do the live course, which includes all those things plus the live experience. If you've never done microblading, if you don't even come from the industry, which we have many people who come through our courses who have, you know,
very different backgrounds.
An attorney, a real estate broker,
construction worker
like Cynthia's husband. Which, by the way, Cynthia and her husband, two very successful artists in Phibrows within our academy. But nonetheless, if you choose to go that route, if you're coming from a different industry, I would highly recommend that you take the live course, because to be here physically, to actually make that quantum leap, to jump from actually working on practice skin to working on an actual person, it's a big jump. It's a big jump, and to have that experience and to have a master trainer right next to you telling you, go a little easier, or a little to the right, a little to, you know, it's training wheels. It's very, very helpful. Now, if you're coming to our academy, and perhaps, for example, you've already had microblading training, but you don't feel that you're producing the quality of work that you know you're capable of, or for whatever the reason is. And under those circumstances, if you come from the industry, you have some experience with it, maybe then the online course is appropriate for you. Either way, if you do the online course, you can always choose to take the live course after the fact and just pay the difference. But how do you find either of these courses? Well, you go right here to training courses where it says live courses. You can very simply click on live Phibrows microblading courses. Here is our calendar of all of our upcoming microblading courses, which will come up here in just a second. And you can see all of them and choose one that is either near you, or our Boca course, or you can select the online course. You can register right online. So see here, if I scroll down, you'll see all these different courses. There's Leslie. Leslie is also one of our master instructors. She teaches a lot of our West Coast classes. She's also teaching our Spanish course. Our Spanish courses as well. And Dee is very, still to this day, very involved in our academy, which goes to, I think this is a testament to you, and to show everyone who's listening, you want to be successful at something, throw yourself into it. This girl throws herself into things, like literally throws herself into these things. She's with us at the trade shows. She's with us now, you know, supporting in the classes, getting a lot of experience also. Yes,
once I got asked by Master Kler to come and assist her in trainings, first of all, that was a big deal to me to be even considered to come help her out. And the experience that you gain from assisting in courses is valuable, extremely valuable.
Yeah. Now, I went off course a little bit here, but I just wanted to show quickly. So here's Dee.
Not the best picture of me. That's in the New York City class, actually.
And then
in the trade show in Orlando.
And just very quickly, so here's, for example, here's Leslie. So Leslie's charging over $500 per microblading. She does about 10 per week. She's in Yuma, Arizona, where the market's a little bit lower. Here's some of her work. You can see Master Leslie's
incredible work.
Beautiful work. This, what's cool about this one is, you see on the bottom, this is before, the middle is microblading, and then the top is brow shading. And brow shading is a variety of microblading, a little bit of a different, would you just describe quickly what that is?
Yeah, microblading is actually using a blade that consists of needles to do strokes, and then the shading is actually going in between those strokes and adding some more dimension, more pigment in certain areas for it to look like a bolder brow, fuller, more volume. So it just creates shadow for the brow that the strokes don't create by themselves sometimes.
Here you can see it again. The bottom is before, the middle is microblading, and then she did
add shading at the end. The top one has shading. So it looks a little bit more full, more dimensional.
So here's Tesla. Tesla is having, you know, Tesla's another all-star. She's, you know,
hi Tesla.
Very quickly. And here's some of Tesla's work.
Beautiful work as well. And she was also an online student. She took the course online, and she's very successful now. I mean, a few months into her course, and
here's Yana. Yana is one of our royal artists. She's up in Chicago. Yana has also a very successful business, $500 per microblading. She's doing about 12 per week. And Yana's husband is actually now involved in her business as well. And they're building an official Phi studio up in Chicago, which is pretty cool. Here's Yana's work. You can see very, very high quality work. So the point being is that Dee is not the only, like I'm not showing you our only successful student. You know, we have hundreds. In fact, at this point we have literally over 1,000 students. But you can see we have many students who are achieving tremendous success. And whether it's $4,000 per week or if it's $1,000 per week or, you know, whatever it is for you, we have a lot of students experiencing success who changed careers, who were doing something that they weren't fulfilled doing before, and now they're, you know, having a heck of a lot more fun.
Yep.
So here's Cynthia. Cynthia, even though she's only charging $300 per microblading, what's interesting about her is that while she lives in San Diego, she crosses the border going south every day.
Into Mexico.
Into Mexico to actually run her business and do microblading in Tijuana. And in Tijuana, $300 for microblading is actually that's the high end of the spectrum, if you will. And she was having so much success. You could see how many microbladings she does per week. Like she's like a celebrity down there. But Cynthia was having so much success that her husband, who was a construction worker of 10 years, working under the hot sun, difficult circumstances, conditions, waking up very early.
And not seeing each other, obviously.
And not seeing each other, he decided to actually leave construction to go into microblading, which is, talk about a quantum leap. That's like, wow. And you know what? He's having a lot of success.
He's actually very, very good as well. Yeah.
And it's arguable who produces the better work. Now, I'm not going to, I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. Okay, but here's Cynthia's work. You can see she does phenomenal work.
Amazing work, yes. That's huge.
This is amazing. Look how natural that looks. That's just really amazing. So anyway, we went through a lot of this here. Let's just jump to, this is what happens in the live course. This is actually what it looks like on the academic day. Here you can see this was one of the classes. This is if you take the class in the actual academy. This is actually what it looks like. On the second day, you take what you learned on the first day, the academic portion, and the master instructor begins to demonstrate. Right? So here you can see she's demonstrating. Everybody's filming and gathered around the model. And then before you know it, you have students working on models. And you can see we have men and women in these classes. We have all different types of people from all different walks of life, all different types of industries. And then you can see this, what I like about this one, this picture on the right, it really demonstrates what it feels like to be a student in the class where you have a master instructor literally working by your side, coaching you as you follow her strokes. And so here you can see a whole bunch of models laying down in the class. And
it's a great experience because once you're in the live course, you're able to see, oh, there you are. You're able to see the master correcting and working with the person next to you.
Right.
And then you're able to see her correcting your work with your model. So you're able to see this repetitively. Yeah, you're immersed in the work and you're exposed to so much different skin types, different skin conditions, different skin colors, different things. Like one model next to you, maybe she doesn't have hair. Maybe this one has a very, very curvy brow. So you're able to be, you're more exposed to so much things in the live course.
Very good point. Yeah, because you're going to run into these things when you're doing microblading. The more exposure you can get, the better. Yeah. So, all right. So you guys got it. This is actually what's in the Phibrows kit, so you can just see.
It lasted me about, I think, 3 to 4 months. The stuff in the kit is very, very, very well built. Right.
And so, what do you do now? You can certainly contact us at microbladingacademyusa.com. We have live chat that usually has staff monitoring the chat during the business day. You can call us. The first line that you see there, the 922-8001, that's the main line to our academy. We answer the phone. We return calls. We respond to emails. We pride ourselves on being very responsive. That's very important to us. We are aware that not everyone is that responsive, and so we make it a point to be extraordinarily responsive. So if you have questions, please contact us. You can also text us on that line that you see there, which is the 561-563-6068. So you have a variety of different ways to contact us.
And Facebook and Instagram. We are very responsive through there as well.
Yes, yes. So you have lots of different ways to contact us. Thanks so much for joining the webinar today. We're going to get right to some of our questions now. Let's go to, I'm just going to leave this up here. Okay. So what sort of lighting do you use for microblading and for your photo sessions?
I use the Glamcore light. There's two different types. There's the Elite and the multimedia. I guess it just depends on your price frame or your price range that you would prefer. I use the Glamcore. It's very, very, very good for pictures. Totally changed the game for me when it came to pictures. I was using a regular ring light before, and now I use a Glamcore. Very good investment.
I'm going to demonstrate just very quickly. I forgot to bring this up. I should have mentioned this. This is where we have our online store where we offer all of our products, right? This is not just for our students, but for anyone who wants Phibrows products. And it also includes, like, for example, our anesthetic. That is our exclusive product, as well as the Glamcore lights. Oops, I just clicked on that by accident. As well as the Glamcore lights that Dee just mentioned, and I'll show you there. Right here.
It's a great investment. You can travel with it and take it with you. Very easy to package and stuff like that.
You can bend the arms around and use them in all sorts of creative ways.
And even to take pictures of your clients after the services, like if they want to stand up and they want to take a selfie, the lights serve that for that purpose.
Right. So, do you build websites for people who do? Wait, do you guys only build websites for people who do the Phibrows course? Actually, no. We don't just build websites for those people who do Phibrows. If you're not necessarily Phibrows, you can still buy a website from us. You would go to here where I'm going to show you right now. You see where it says store on our main website, which is microbladingacademyusa.com. If you go to the top and you click store, and you go right here to where it says purchase a website, when you click on that, it will bring you to a page that will provide you everything that you need to know about buying a website. It'll even give you a nice video demonstration and answer lots of questions. So that'll come up in just a moment, but we'll continue on. Who posts your testimonials, your clients or yourself?
So we're able to capture or get the testimonials from the clients through email, through DM or private message, and we're able to copy and paste that into our page with their picture and to be able to prove that what they feel or think about.
Mm-hmm. In our case, in the case of our academy, we actually push people to our Facebook page and actually have them do it like an actual review.
Yeah.
In fact,
Facebook reviews are very, very helpful as well.
I think it's worth showing this.
I think I don't know if someone meant for the website purposes. For the website purposes, we're able to just have clients send us testimonials or their feedback, and we're able to put them on the page accordingly. But Facebook reviews are very helpful for you as a microblading artist as well.
Yes. Any possible way that you can get testimonials or reviews
feedback.
or
even
video.
video. I do videos a lot too, as well on my social media, Instagram stories. I do a lot of that. I tell them, oh, how do you feel? I even film them when they're grabbing the mirror and they're seeing their brows for the first time.
Right.
So I'm able to put a lot of those things that are raw images and video without any editing or anything. Just the true comments of what people think when they're looking at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, and don't get too hung up on like how professional it is. Or,
no.
I mean, just get reviews. Get reviews, get testimony. Figure all that stuff out after you get going. Just get going, you know. Mm-hmm. Don't get stuck. But anyway, the point is here you can see, like, you can get yourself an actual business page where you can actually have reviews. So anyway, how long after the online course do you recommend doing the live course?
I guess the online course, if you take the online course, it depends, like he said earlier, if you've come from having microblading experience before and you want to perfect it and you want to get it the Phibrows way, then you will take an online course. But if you have no experience whatsoever, I believe that the best value would be taking a live course. Now, if it's because of finances that you don't want to take a course that's a couple $1,000s, I would say that what you could do is start off, get your feet wet, get introduced to the brand, get introduced to the procedure and the I guess the theory behind Phibrows with the online course and get exposed to it. Once you start and you like it and you're starting to produce some money and you know that you really like it, then you can always go ahead and take the live course after that.
Right. It's like a less expensive way, if you will.
To be exposed to it and to
see if it's for you. Right.
To test it out.
I totally agree. What about people making a career change and not in the beauty industry? I'm a nurse practitioner who has always been interested in beauty. What advice for us newbies with no previous clientele?
Well, that's if you're a nurse, that's a great way to get clients.
I'd say she's got a natural target market right
there. Yeah, you have women that make really good money that are in the hospital and they want to save time. They work long hours, they work long shifts. They don't want to have to fill their brows in every day. So I think that's a really good way to start. Your pool is right there at work, your office. So if you work with, I don't know, 15 women in your department in the hospital, go ahead and talk to them. Let them know you're about to take the course. Sometimes people that don't know about people that don't know about the I guess the level of expertise or the level of quality work, they just want it done. So who are they going to trust? Who are they going to come to? The person they know from work. Yes. So if you have already that pool of people that you're close to, you don't necessarily have to come from the beauty industry to be successful. You can start off with people that you know, and we all know at least 5 to 10 women.
Right. Especially if you're telling them that you're going through this world-class training that is just the highest quality training that exists for microblading,
mm-hmm.
you know, so.
And an introductory price, so you'll hook them up that way.
Where do you recommend the lighting be when taking photos of clients to get the best detail?
Above the face, so the Glam Core actually has like 2 little hands, and you're able to put the light right above the client and just, you know, you maneuver and you change the hands around. But if the lighting is above the client, or if the client's standing and the lighting is in front of the client, as long as you have a 90-degree perpendicular, I guess 90-degree angle from the face, you'll have clear, crisp photos. Another trick is clean your lenses. Please clean your lens. Whenever you have your phone, clean your lens with cotton, with your shirt, with a napkin, anything that's cloth or fabric, to make sure that your pictures are crisp and detailed. You don't want to have any oil on your lens and the pictures look foggy and blurry.
Right. Will the courses offered in business and social media marketing include branding yourself and choosing a business name? You know, one thing that we didn't mention actually yet is that some of the you've heard a lot from Dee today. So in the very near future,
time is limited.
Yeah, in the very near future, we're going to be doing a social media marketing course, actually a business building course and a social media marketing course, because one thing is actually getting certified and learning how to do microblading and getting good at it, but the other half of it is how to market yourself successfully, and that's what a lot of what we talked about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that we're offering everything that our students would need to be successful in microblading, and you can't just be successful just being good at it. You have to be good at microblading and good at marketing yourself. So, I mean, we've all been to a party where someone is, you know, approaching you and they're approaching you in the wrong way, and it's like, okay, you want to go the other direction. A lot of people treat social media that way,
yeah,
and they're kind of like annoying.
Pushy,
you know,
and
they're pushy, or
yeah.
You don't want to be that way. You want to put content out there that is so attractive that people want to come to you, and there's effective ways to do it.
That people think, oh, I want to look like that. That's all.
Yes.
That's what a picture does. I want to look like that. I want to be in her position. I want to go to her place. I want to look exactly like that. So pictures are a reflection. You know?
So there's effective ways to be on social media, and there's ineffective ways.
Yes.
So
we'll teach you guys all about that.
So what we're going to have very soon, if you actually take a look over here, we're very excited about this coming up. If you're interested in that social media marketing course, you see right over here under training courses, it says business building training courses. And there's both a business building course and a social media marketing course. Right now, this is just a almost like a lead capture page. It's basically, if you're interested in this, you can put your email address in, and when we're ready to launch the course, we're going to offer it at a one-time discounted price to everyone who's on the list. So you'll see that in just a second. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out there. But the question was, will the social media marketing course include branding yourself and choosing a business name?
Yes.
So obviously, it's all about branding yourself.
Yeah.
All about branding yourself.
Finding the right name and finding the right business name for you.
Are you required to work under a physician in Florida?
No, you're not. All you need is a Florida tattoo artist license. And I guess in any other state is also the same way.
No, you can't work out of your home.
Not at your home, not out of your home. I worked and I did brow shaping out of my home because it did not involve blood and biohazard material. Obviously, when
not microblading, she did brow shaping.
I did brow shaping at home for like, I don't know, 2-3 months. When I started seeing that, get a little out of hand, I went ahead and rented a studio. But for microblading, I suggest 100% you need to be in a public space, in a salon space, licensed, insured, and have all your, I guess, ducks in line before taking that jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How much is it to purchase a website? All the details about the websites are right here on that page where we went, where it says purchase a website. There's a few different options, so I'm not sure which one would be appropriate for you. So just
there's
check
a few different scales. So like you have like the basic website and you have a middle one, right? And then
correct.
Yeah.
It depends if you have additional services or not, and so on. So you can check that out there. But what's the difference between being trained by a local fee artist in my area or being trained by a well-known traveling artist besides the price difference? Well, the only thing that I would suggest that you consider there is, you know, I highly recommend that you read everyone's reviews.
Yeah.
I read reviews for most things that I do that are more than, you know, 200 or 300 bucks. I'm going to read reviews. I want to know if what I'm buying is going to be what I hope it's going to be, and is it going to, you know, deliver the value that I'm looking for. So I think the best way to answer that question is to say, read everybody's reviews. Read what real customers say about our academy and about any other options that you have out there. Not just about Kler or Leslie or any of, you know, the other masters for our Phibrows Academy, but check out the local Phi Academy or the local microblading trainer. I'm not sure who you're referring to, but look at everyone's reviews and see if you can get a feel. A lot of people put their content out on social media and you get a feel for the person and you could sort of, is this someone I'm going to vibe with? Is this, you know what I mean? So that's the way that I would.
To add to that, I would say, as far as the way Phibrows works, if someone is not a master, they're not supposed to be teaching. So I've heard a few comments on this before that people that are Phibrows artists, just Phibrows artists, that just have a certificate, they actually want to go and train for less price than the Phibrows Academy teaches for. My suggestion: run the other direction. Run away from that. You don't want to teach. You don't want to learn and pay someone that's just a Phibrows artist. If they're a Phibrows master and they have good reviews and they have, you know, weights and people behind them to speak for their work, then go ahead and choose that. But don't choose a Phibrows artist at all. You won't have any of the craft master. You won't have a kit. You won't have a certification. Right. You won't have any of those things to stand behind you.
That's right. Do you take photos with a professional camera?
No, I actually take, I would say 70% of my photos or 60% of my photos with my iPhone. I had an iPhone 6, I'm moving to iPhone 7. I've used both of them. As long as you have a clean lens and you have enough storage on your phone, you can take really good pictures with your phone camera. You can also use a professional camera like a Nikon or a Canon or something like that. They don't have to be really high-end, but as long as you have a 35mm lens, that's enough for a brow picture.
I think most people aren't even aware, but an iPhone 6 is probably equivalent to like the best camera that ever existed in 2005.
Yeah, they have really high megapixels.
So yeah, super high definition. The lighting is the most important thing, I think. Is if you're using
if you have a phone camera, you need really good lighting. So like I said, invest in a glam core.
Right. How long does it take you to do a full set of brows?
For microblading, it takes me about 2.5 hours. That's talking through the consent information, giving the client a consent packet, taking pictures, and taking the after pictures as well. So everything, it's about 2.5 hours.
If you take your course, are you able to use the logo, or is there an additional charge for use of the logo? No, there's no additional charge for the logo, but you cannot use the Phibrows logo until you're actually certified. And that's why we have actually a few different versions of the website, because if you're not technically certified, we cannot give you the version of the website, for example, that Dee has, which talks about Phibrows all over it. We're actually creative in the way that we refer to it, but we can't literally use the name Phibrows until you're certified. But once you are certified, absolutely.
The company provides you with a logo as well.
Does it matter which area you live in when it comes to raising your price?
It all depends on your city. I would say go ahead and research people that are close to your city and close to your vicinity, your neighborhoods, and people that are close to you, and see the average in the city. Yeah, everyone's different. I'm in Miami. You guys are probably all over the country tuning in and watching, but just take a poll and research around people that are in your area and stay competitive. You don't want to go above their pricing, but you don't want to go too low. Unless you're starting, that's different.
All right, last couple of questions. What's better, Facebook or Instagram?
Different audiences live in Facebook than Instagram, and you're going to get different types of engagement on Facebook versus Instagram. So it all depends on the audience you're wanting to attract. And if you want to capture like reviews that are visible, then you would work with Facebook. If you want to work just like with aesthetics and just a pretty picture feed, then you would work with IG. If you want people to share your work a lot and have a very easy way to share, both of them work in different ways. So we'll be able to talk about those things and their benefits of each platform when we come to the class.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is very important that we definitely want to cover in the social media class is how you integrate Instagram, Facebook, your website, and your email marketing. All these things is how you reach out to the people that are already following you and how you reach new people that are not necessarily following you, and you draw everyone in and keep yourself in front of them as an authority on your subject matter, which is microblading and beauty. So
I would say Instagram is better to reach people that are not exposed to your business whatsoever. In Facebook, people that know you, that's it. That's your work is reaching only the people that you know. But on Instagram, your work is reaching hundreds and thousands of people that are potentially looking for that service.
Right.
So I believe
they're using Instagram more as like a search engine.
Yes, it's a search engine. Like I said, it's becoming like a Google search engine. It's becoming like a Google search engine now.
Yeah. How long after the course can I perform microblading on real clients?
After you reach the 11 levels, like I said, whether you take 2 months to do that, 4 weeks to do that, or 5 months to do that, once you've reached, I would say, level 10, 9, even, you can actually start working on real clients, or working on people that are just models, not charging them for it, but just having them, be aware that you're working on them and they're a model, they're not paying clients, and you can actually get more experience that way. But I would say my recommendation is don't work on people until you've passed the 11 levels. At least go to them. Maybe not the certificate yet, but go through the levels. It's very important because every level is going to break down, every part of the brow, angles, how to unite the hairs to make it flow better and look natural, color choice, skin depth, skin conditions. All these things are there. All these lectures are there for you, and they're there for a reason. So.
Otherwise, have Tia Luisa sign off on a disclaimer.
Yes.
I will not sue you if you screw up my eyebrows before you get to level 11.
Yeah.
Last question.
Yeah.
Okay. How long after taking the microblading course to take the perfection, do you recommend taking the perfection training course?
The perfection training course, like I said, is something very, very valuable. You're able to come back with thoughts, doubts, questions, all these things, experiences of what you went through, and you have those questions to ask your master. So I would say once you've gone through maybe 5 to 10 clients even, or models, come back to the perfection training. Now, if you want to be able to save up more money before coming to the perfection training, then do at least 15. That way you have some questions under your belt and some doubts and some things that you've run into that you have to ask your master, like, oh my God, I ran into this problem. I ran into this client bleeding a lot. I ran into a client that was taking thyroid medication or hormone therapy. What do I do then? She bled too much, or she didn't retain. So all these questions you're able to ask when you've done the service, when you've run into problems already, not just, oh, I took the course and next month I'm taking the perfection. No, have some experience under your belt, have some situations that you've encountered, different experiences you've been exposed to. Therefore, make a list of questions and come back for the perfection and ask those questions. When I came for my perfection, I actually had a list of like 5 or 6 questions problems that I was encountering.
No way.
Yeah, and I was able to ask Master Kler, and she was able to answer them.
I'm so surprised.
So plan. That's the most important thing.
All right, so we hope you found this webinar to be helpful. And
I wish we had more time to answer all these questions.
Yes. So where am I? Here's where I want to go. All right. So just leave this up here for now, just to finish up. This is what you do if you are interested in taking the course with us. You're going to see it in just a moment. So again, you can visit us at the website. You can chat with us through the live chat that's on the website. You can call us at the Academy number. You can text us at the 6068 number. You can email us. You can reach us on Facebook. You can DM us on Instagram.
There's even a live chat on the store when you want to buy products and you have questions to buy products. There's someone standing beside there during the regular business hours and able to answer your questions as well.
Correct. So Dee, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. So,
I hope you guys got something from the webinar as well, and I hope to see you guys in our social media marketing courses.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.